Can a sock actually be dangerous to a diabetic? Well, as a podiatrist, I've seen 3 ways that socks can cause horrible problems in a diabetic with a numb foot and decreased circulation. So in this video, I will share certain conditions that occur with socks that make them dangerous to a diabetic, and what characteristics make a good diabetic sock and where to find these socks. Hey everybody, it's Dr. Gaffney from Dr. Gaffney Best Foot, helping you save time and money in your foot care decisions. So before we get started, I want to explain that there is a spectrum in diabetic foot health, from at-risk feet, where you have numbness of the foot, decreased circulation, out of control blood sugar, to a healthy diabetic foot with good blood flow, good sensation, and good blood sugar control. So in this video, I'm going to be talking about the sock dangers mainly in diabetics that have at-risk feet. Okay, so the first condition in a sock that can be dangerous to a diabetic is improper fit or size of the sock. So what happens is the sock folds up, and even that fold in the material can cause a pressure area and a numb foot, and you can't feel it, and it can cause a blister or a wound. And any wound can lead to an infection. An infection leads to possible surgery, hospitalization, or even amputation. So it's very important to have the heel area fitted in the right spot, as well as the toes. The second condition that I see in socks being dangerous for a diabetic is a short elastic binding top of the sock or cuff. And it seems to be more of a problem in diabetics with swelling. So the elastic digs into the skin and leaves a fissure. And anytime there's a fissure, it's a gateway for the bacteria to get in there and start to infect the skin. The third sock condition that can be dangerous to a diabetic with a numb foot is any holes in the socks. So especially at the toes. So if you ever had a hole in your sock and then you've worn it all day, you can feel pain down there, and then you take off your shoe and your toe is sticking out of the hole, and the hole's basically creating a tourniquet around the toe, so it can be white. But when you're diabetic, you're not so lucky when you have numb feet from diabetes. And numbness from diabetic neuropathy usually starts at the toes, and it's real subtle. So many diabetics don't know they have numbness there at their toes. So a hole in the sock with the toe poking through can create a tourniquet effect. The blood vessels of the toes are extremely small, maybe double the width of a strand of hair, so they can get occluded really easily with plaque in diabetics. And I have seen holes in socks create pregangrenous changes in diabetics. The holes in the socks can cause a problem, as well as holes in any place else on the sock, like the heel. It can dig in and create a wound. So please inspect your socks before you put them on, and just throw away any socks that have holes in them. Okay, I'm going to go through all the qualities of a good diabetic sock, and there are 7 qualities of a good diabetic sock. And in the description, I'm going to list where you can find diabetic socks, and specifically different websites to find them. So the first characteristic of a good diabetic sock is a seamless design. Many times the seam at the toe is very prominent, and it can press into the skin and cause a pressure area. Sometimes if you're unable to get a diabetic sock, I tell my patients just to wear the socks inside out, so you don't have that seam pressing on your toes. The second characteristic of a diabetic sock is that it should be moisture wicking. This is important because the moisture against the skin can lead to blisters. And this is where I see mystery blisters in my diabetic. They come in and there's all of a sudden there's a giant blister on their toe. And I think it's this moisture component. Natural fibers like wool and cotton absorb, but can be moisture laden, and they compress the wool and the cotton do, and it's unable to transport the sweat off the skin and keep it against your skin. And when the moisture is against your skin, it sets you up for blisters. The exception to this is merino wool. Merino wool is often softer and finer than regular lamb's wool. And socks normally have a blend of fibers, especially the cotton is common for comfort and softness against the skin. I'm going to just list the good moisture wicking fibers from greatest to least. The first one is merino wool, and merino wool is different than regular lamb's wool, and it's 2 layers. So it has one layer that wicks the moisture off and one layer that absorbs it. That's what makes it good. The second one is drymaxx with olefin, and that is more of a synthetic type of fiber. And then Coolmax, polyester, nylon, tencel, polypropylene, spandex or lycra, bamboo, rayon, and acrylic. Patients with sweaty feet should avoid a high cotton content. It's in most apparel and socks, so it's hard to avoid it altogether because it does create comfort and softness in your socks. So, but as long as it's a low percentage and the synthetic moisture wicking fibers are in it, it would be a decent sock. The next quality of a diabetic sock would be that it's antimicrobial. Now this component is hard to find, so they have some nano silver or copper infused diabetic socks, and I looked all over the internet to find these, and they were hard to find. So I'm going to list them in the description where you can find them. So the copper and the silver inhibit bacterial growth, and the copper specifically binds to the chemical that's produced in bacteria that create foot odor, and that's what makes it nice. And the only diabetic copper sock that I could find was on the Drymaxx website, and I'll list that down there. And the only silver line socks were balegra, and they don't have any diabetic socks, unfortunately. So the next component in a good diabetic sock is proper fit, especially at the heels and the toes, and we discussed that. The fifth quality of a good diabetic sock is that they're soft and breathable. The sixth quality of a good diabetic sock is that they have minimal compression, unless you need a compressive stocking for swelling that's prescribed by your doctor. The seventh and final quality of a good diabetic sock is that it is flat with no seams. We talked about what seams can do to a non-diabetic foot. So I will list all the links for the diabetic socks below in the description. I'm also going to write a blog post on this as well. That's going to be a little more detailed. And finally, I just want to say, just be careful buying diabetic socks online. Just make sure they have a good return policy. Sock fit is very individualized, as well as shoe fit. So try to buy from the websites I list below directly. Just take on a buyer beware type of approach when buying these diabetic socks. One of the websites I list down there, the Diabetic Sock Company, they have a 1-year return policy, which is really nice. So if you get a hole in the sock during that year, you return it for a refund. And finally, I do want to say, if the diabetic sock says it's a neuropathy sock, just be aware that it's not going to take away neuropathy pain. It usually just means it's padded and it's soft. So share in the comments if you have had trouble finding diabetic socks. They're really tricky to find. If you go online and try to find it, your head's going to start to spin. So that's why I've listed some good ones in the description for you. So if you've gotten value out of this episode, I'd really appreciate it if you'd like and subscribe to the channel. And thank you so much for watching, and we'll see you again next time.
Please see the full disclaimer in the description. This is not a doctor-patient relationship. This does not constitute medical advice, but is for informational purposes only.